Welcome to Software Talks. This is Kanababu. Today we'll discuss about OOPS. OOPS will play the major role in any programming language. Whenever you want to learn any language like Java, .NET or Python or TypeScript, any programming language you learn, OOPS will play the major role. So let us see what is OOPS. OOPS means Object-Oriented Programming System. So OOPS is a concept which is used to write the programs by using classes and objects. So any language that supports the principles of OOPS, then that language is called as Object-Oriented Programming Language. There are actually basically four principles are there: abstraction, encapsulation, inheritance, polymorphism. These are the four principles of OOPS. Before learning OOPS, you must have the knowledge of, first of all, you must know why we are learning OOPS and what is the purpose of learning OOPS and where we will try to use this particular OOPS. Generally, OOPS was developed by Grady Booch, the scientist. OOPS is a theory actually. Programming languages are developed by following the principles of OOPS. We cannot write any program by using OOPS. C#.NET is a programming language. Java is a programming language. TypeScript is a programming language. Python is a programming language. And these programming languages are developed by following the principles of OOPS. So as a developer, our job is to develop different types of applications. So if you want to develop different types of applications, we have to take the support of programming languages, technologies, frameworks. So with the support of all these things, you can develop the application. So as a developer, you must have the knowledge of OOPS. If you want to enter into the software industry as a software developer, first of all, you must have the knowledge of OOPS. Okay. For learning OOPS, you must have the knowledge on two things. One is variable, other one is method. State and behavior. Variable purpose is to store the data. Method purpose is to perform operation. So generally data is very powerful. If you want to perform any operation on data, some methods are required. So you must have the knowledge on two things, variables and methods. Is it clear? Variable purpose is to store the value. Method purpose is to perform operation. Binding of these variables and methods in a single container, that concept is called as encapsulation. For example, if I am developing a project for a particular college to maintain the student details, employee details, course details, department details. So first of all, we need to identify the variables and methods depending on our requirement. The student variables like student number, student name, age, gender, qualification, email ID, etc. Employee details like employee number, employee name, basic salary, DA, HRA, etc. So by identifying the required variables and methods, that concept is called as abstraction. It is a process of getting the required data and hiding unnecessary data. Whatever the variables and methods you identified, you have to keep that variables and methods in a single container. That is called encapsulation. If you observe, I showed you clearly. Encapsulation is nothing but grouping or wrapping of variables and methods in a single container. That concept is called encapsulation. Here you can say I declared one class with name student. There I declared student variables and student methods. Employee class, employee variables and employee methods. So related variables and methods in a single container. Example for encapsulation is class. Is it clear? OOPS principles are there. Practically, if you want to apply the principles of OOPS, you have to take the support of class. So abstraction means it is a process of getting the required data and hiding unnecessary data. That concept is called as abstraction. Encapsulation means it is a process of grouping or wrapping or binding of state and behavior in a single container. Grouping of common variables and methods in a single container is called encapsulation. We can achieve encapsulation by using class. Is it clear? At the time of developing application, multiple classes will exist within your application. So communication between these classes are required. And the communication is happening with the help of creating object. So object is instance of class. If you want to allocate memory for the variables, we need to create object. If you want to access the variables or methods, we need to create reference. Reference variable is the name given for the object. Every object must be identified with some reference variable. Accessibility point of view, reference variable is required. Memory allocation point of view, object creation is required. Data storage point of view, variable is required. Operation point of view, method is required. And if you want to establish the relation between two classes, you can establish by using inheritance. So inheritance is a mechanism of establishing the relationship between two classes. or it is a mechanism of creating a new class, derived class by using base class. So generally minimum two classes must be there, relationship must be there in order to implement inheritance. In Java, you can implement inheritance by using extends keyword. In C#.NET, you can implement inheritance by using colon keyword. In Python, you can implement inheritance by using of keyword. So the main advantage of inheritance is reusability. Repeatedly writing the same variables and methods again and again in multiple classes will increase the number of lines of code. If here you can say I want to maintain the student details and employee details, the same variables, number, name, email ID, gender, phone number, age, these all are common for both student and employee. So repeatedly writing the same variables in multiple classes will increase the number of lines of code. So the solution is redundancy, reusability. Problem is redundancy, solution is reusability. So I applied inheritance here. I declared one class with name person, and the common variables and methods belongs to both the derived classes I kept in super class, and the unique variables and methods I kept in derived class. In person class, I declared number, name, phone number, email ID, qualification, gender. In student extends person. Here I declared some total and percentage. Their employee extends person. There I declared basic salary, DA, HRA, total salary. Is it clear? So we reduce the number of lines of code, reusing the existing variables and methods. That concept is called as reusability. Extensibility means adding some extra functionality to the existing class. That is called extensibility. We can achieve reusability and extensibility by using inheritance. Re-implementation we can achieve by using polymorphism. So what is polymorphism? Poly means many, morphos means forms. So polymorphism means anything that exists in multiple forms is called as polymorphism. In object-oriented programming, we can achieve polymorphism by using overloading and overriding. Overloading means defining multiple methods with the same name and with different parameters. That concept is called as overloading. And polymorphism will exist between them. Inheritance is established between two classes. So overloading means defining multiple methods with same name but with different parameters. That concept is called as overloading. Is it clear? Example here you can see defining multiple methods. I declare one class with name A. Here two methods I declared add. The first method is accepting two numbers. The second method is accepting three numbers as parameters. Both the method names are same, parameters are different. And another third method, they will accept two strings as parameter. So all the method names are same, parameters are different. There may be a change in the number of parameters or order of parameters or type of parameters. That concept is called as overloading. So which method must get executed was decided based on the values that we pass. If you pass two numbers, first method will execute. Three numbers, second method will execute. Two strings, third method will execute. That is about overloading. Coming to overriding. It is a process of re-implementing the base class method in the derived class, or it is a process of defining multiple methods with same method heading and different method body in base class and derived class. Rules to be followed while applying overriding. Inheritance is mandatory. Same method heading, including method name plus parameters must be same. Overriding is not possible within the single class. Inheritance is mandatory. Method heading must be same. Parameters must be different. Which method must get executed was decided based on the object that we create. Is it clear? So in overriding always derived class method only will get executed. So here you see just I declared two classes, class A, class B. Class A I declared one method with name show with no parameters. Class B also I declared one method with name show with no parameters. The message I written is I am A show, I am B show. So if I create an object for B, B1 is equal to new B of B1.show, the implemented method, overridden method will get executed. These are the four principles of OOPS: abstraction, encapsulation, inheritance and polymorphism. Okay. So OOPS is very powerful. Before learning any frameworks or any programming languages, it is a concept actually. If you know OOPS in one language, it is common for any language. If you know OOPS, you can easily learn either .NET or Java or Python or TypeScript, and it is the basic criteria for any developer to enter into the software industry. Is it clear? So try to practice OOPS. Just I given some introduction, some basic definition point of view. It will helpful for interview point of view. Was it clear? For more videos, try to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you. Have a nice day.